Before we get into the video today, I just want to give a quick shout out to one of our sponsors, Gnostic TV. Gnostic TV is ancient wisdom reimagined. This is a Netflix for those who are spiritually curious and want a place to go where there is no censorship. I personally am doing a whole series on Gnostic TV called the Esoteric Explorer, where I am providing exclusive content to Gnostic. Gnostic TV is a host to all sorts of different content creators, many of whom are your old favorites. If you would like to check out Gnostic TV, there is a link down in the description box below. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Esoteric Atlanta. Of course, my name is Bryce, and I am joined with a longtime friend, but I mean, this last few months have been so crazy, Jay. But Jay, welcome back to Esoteric Atlanta. Victoria, you guys welcome. I'm so excited. We're going to be talking about the media today, and we were just chit-chatting offline about some exciting developments in our own government with us little podcasters and independent media sources. So first and foremost, how you guys doing today?
Yeah, we're doing great. We're going, and we're not so little anymore, Bryce. I mean, that's the thing. It's like we're making a movement, we're making a stance, and this is the actual, it's you've always said it before. It's like the new media. You know what I mean? It's a new way of people wanting to get their information because it's hard
Yeah.
to just find people you can know, like, and trust anymore.
I mean, legacy media is kind of making its way.
Out.
Yeah, it's in retirement, we'll say. Not at fault of their own. I think, and of course, there's all the conspiracies behind that. We won't get into that, but I think it's brilliant. We're at this new stage where we are the media. Us people. I don't have a degree in journalism, but we've become the media. The people have, and how amazing it is in that revolutionary spirit where we realized we were being lied to. And so we all just started trying to figure it out together and put it out there together. And I know you guys have a lot more to say about that because as you guys know, Jay and I have done media courses before, but I feel like with what's happening in the world, this has definitely opened up a whole new door of opportunity for anybody.
Yeah.
Literally, that's what that means, right? Anybody can do this. So I'm going to pass the ball over to you.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's like, well, welcome. Thank you for having us in your house as always, and welcoming us like this. We appreciate that. So, yeah, we really want to bring awareness to the fact that people. It's February 2025 for those watching in a time capsule, and we want to, we really just want to bring awareness to like, look, this is the most incredible time to be in our business right now, doing what we're doing, getting behind the mics, looking like this. Just maybe your faces look different, your background looks different, but to be in our industry right now is incredible. From so many ways. It's like even more, from a spiritual point of view, there's the energetic value of it, right? So there's all this energy that seems to be in our favor that is really all about prosperity. People call it the golden age, Bryce. And then, of course, finding your purpose. We speak about this all the time, right? So it's like getting your truth out. So I know over the last probably year or so, we put together some courses and we really tried to help people and get out there. So we've been doing that with success. But I wanted to bring in Victoria too, because Victoria's, at another level as far as she's been working a lot with the inner workings of what we call the mainstream and understanding that. And really, you guys got to really hear, if you could share your perspective with everybody, what you've gone through and really, because we want to bring this to you. We want to really help. We all need voices right now is really what happens. Like we need your voice out there because the reality is people, your loved ones, people you're connected with, they only want to learn, they only want to purchase, they only want to do things from people they know, like, and trust. So
Absolutely.
we're here to help you be that advocate for them.
Yeah, I'm very intuitive, as Jay does. I've known April and Jay for about 15 years. And I started seeing back in 2020 that every person that has the ability to have a show needs to have a show. And then in 2021, I started hearing that everybody that has the ability to have a network needs to have a network because we're it. We are the new media. And I saw that there would come a time that we would actually replace the media so that when people turn on their TVs, when people turn on their phones, actually, I got this guidance 15 years ago before smartphones, and I didn't even know what that meant. I was like, what do you mean to be in people's phones? didn't understand what that meant. And so there would come a time when we would actually replace mainstream television, mainstream news. We are the news now. We started saying that a few years ago, because journalism died. Journalism is basically dead. So it required those of us who had the ability to dive in and do journalism to actually start creating our own shows. And what's really amazing now is that the White House has officially acknowledged us as a legitimate source for news. And that opens up a whole new world of possibilities. We're now legitimate news source. And I understand he actually kicked mainstream media out of the White House, which is really interesting. So one of the things I've been doing over the years, I've been involved with legacy media for about 15 years. I had my first mainstream television appearance in 2014. And so I have been involved with legacy media over the years. Jumped back in about a year ago. I have been on dozens of news stations, professional stages, NASDAQ, Academy of Medicine, sitting and interviewing Rudy Giuliani. So I've had some really great opportunities to really play in the bigger fields of media. And I'm really excited that I'm now able to take what I've learned there and bring it here. And I've had my own podcast for over the years, and played with that, and Jay and I have worked together on, actually, I think my very first interview was on Spiritually Raw in 2010.
So was everybody else's. Everybody else's work. Come on now.
And so it's a wonderful opportunity for me to bring what I've learned about being on legacy media in now to this independent broadcaster world that we're now involved with. It's very, very exciting. So I've actually created a course to teach people how to look good on camera. I call it camera ready, how to be a good host, how to be a good guest, how to present yourself well. And that's a big part of what we're going to be doing as well, is actually teaching people how to look great on camera.
That's so important, because I know that has, we were saying off camera, there's been kind of a domino effect when they announced that, and how huge that is, you guys. I just want to say that again, especially if you have not heard this yet. The White House with the new administration has basically said, we are going to start opening the door to people like me, people like Jay, like the people, Victoria, people who are just on YouTube or Rumble that have just been trugging along for years now, trying to figure out what's going on, and that this administration has more hope and more trust invested in us little guys than legacy media. And the fact that they literally are legitimizing little old podcasts like Esoteric Atlanta or like Gnostic TV or Spiritually Well, that they're acknowledging that we have a seat at the table when it comes to any type of press conferences. And we were saying offline, you know, I know that some of my friends that I film with from overseas have asked me, like, we want to be involved in this. Is there a way we can come in? And so this is serious, guys. A lot of people are taking this opportunity to try to get into the White House, and whether they're doing it via Zoom or whatever, and actually ask these questions that the American public want to know. And the fact that the administration values our questions over the idiocracy questions that the legacy media is forced to ask. And that is, you know, and that's great and that's wonderful. But I think people who want to do that might be a little bit nervous, because this is a bigger world stage right now. Now the door is open for those of us with these tiny little podcasts to be introduced to a world audience and be taken seriously. And so we don't, you know, when we're filming on Zoom for YouTube, we can fumble the ball sometimes and laugh about it and edit it out, no big deal. But when you're going up to question the leader of the free world, there needs to be some polishing and some refining. I was laughing. I'm a little hungover this morning, and I've got a t-shirt on. No way in hell would I look like this if I was in, you know, no offense to you guys and watching too, but if you're facing off to ask the questions to the leader of the free world and everybody's watching, you want to make sure you yourself are presentable as an American citizen or wherever you're coming from. And so all that refinement, how to be able to speak in that situation, that fast-paced situation, is so important, because it is different. I mean, I've never done it, but I can imagine as an intelligent human being, that would probably be extremely, I know you probably have more experience with that, Victoria, but to be in that, it's fast-paced, isn't it?
Very much so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it goes really fast. And, you know, just to kind of even scale it from a different even perspective, and this is, you know, like we talked about this before, you know, the definition of luck is when preparation and opportunity meet. So we're going to have opportunities. Everybody's got opportunities all day long.
Yeah.
Preparation is going to be critical to combine that, to make that what we call luck, right? And this is such a great time because you got the leader of the free world just driving home prosperity, you know, from various different forms, letting people know, asking people's opinion, getting down the street of that. I mean, whatever you think politically, it is what it is, right? But
Yeah.
these things, we're able to see what's going on here, and we're seeing that, hey, you know what? More and more people, their level of confidence as far as gaining wealth there. Now their level of confidence of trying new things, if you would, embarking upon new ventures, you know, uncharted territory. This is why we've always said for the last year, and we'll continue to say it because, you know, we just have not been able to. I mean, we've been doing it for years. You have. It's like, I don't know of a better way to get your voice out there, build your confidence, connect with yourself at a high spiritual level, create a multiple passive streams of income through
Yeah.
one portal. It's like the best Swiss Army knife of some sort, right? So it is, I guess. I mean, I don't know how else to say it. It's like, because
Little
it does
pocket
all
knife.
these
Yeah.
pretty cool pocket knife, right? You know, it doesn't, so, you know, because sometimes, and it doesn't really stab you for the most part, you know what I mean? But, you know,
Well, and
so yeah, we wanted to really reach out and really just let people know that, hey, let's, you know, if here you are turning into 2025, if you're at that place right now where, okay, that's it, you know, maybe we're your universe right now. If you're watching this right now and you've been asking the universe, you woke up to the universe, maybe we're that answer for you. I don't know, but if we are, you all know the drill, right? In Bryce Media, but that's the thing, Bryce, is really we're seeing more and more of this, and we're seeing it's even more critical than ever, than even like last year when you and I were working through it, but even more so, it's like people are really searching for something because I also think that, you know, there's multidimensional splits happening, so people are experiencing different realities. So
absolutely, yeah.
it's important for them to understand how to talk through this with your vibrational matchers, your soul tribe, if you would.
You know, it's so interesting too, and I know as well, like since the I don't know, I still don't know if we can say the E word on YouTube or not, but we'll say the competition in November. I've seen a huge boost in confidence from people because it was pretty obvious with the results that most people are on the same page, and that's the page of common sense and just bringing humanity back to the populace. But I do hope too that as we see promises being fulfilled, what I hope is that the American public, our overseas friends, because we know it's going to be a domino effect, that your value and what you have to say is legit. Like that the leader of the free world, whether you're an American or not, the president of the United States is the leader of the free world. When he's saying, I would rather talk to a middle-aged housewife who's zooming in from her home and have her question me than legacy media, that's legitimizing you. And even if you don't want to do that, even if that's not something you're interested in, and it gives you, hopefully it gives people that confidence that what they have to say is valuable, that your research is valuable, and that people are going to take more, whether you're selling, you know, holistic products online or whatever it is that you're going to create a show around, that the current culture is valuing you over these established organizations that now, I mean, if you guys have been watching the confirmation hearings, holy crap, like no one can hide anymore. It's, you know, we got Bernie Sanders crying over a baby onesie, and we've got everything being exposed about who's being paid off. So even more is being, you know, we've got Kash Patel sitting there with Senator Kennedy, who's my spirit animal. I love that man, where he's like, we're running out of conspiracy theories, right? Because all of them turn out to be correct. So there's a very huge change in awareness for the human population. Even this morning, I was listening to an open panel in a drama. It was like a drama channel. And one of the guests, his father has been diagnosed with cancer. And the host, on behalf of this other guest, was asking for people to email him holistic remedies. This isn't on like a drama channel, guys. This is not, so that just shows you the amount of shifting that the general populace is doing. And you're right. I think people, it goes back to that small business, right? People would much rather go and buy stuff from a small business because their money is actually going to pay for their little kid to have dance classes and not going into the corporate mill. And so that is you. Esoteric Atlanta is a small business, right? Gnostic TV, these are small businesses, right? These are a grassroots effort. And so I think now is the time, and having Victoria like to help walk you through like how to do these little, because you might have the content, you might absolutely have the content that, but you don't know how to present it, or you don't know how to get that confidence, or, I know I work with people a lot with vocal exercises, and every time I talk, people are shocked, like, you do vocal exercises before you go on camera? I'm like, yeah, I do. I sound like an idiot, but I do it, like, it's very sexy to hear me do my vocal warm-ups, but it's just little things like that, right? That help you learn what colors to wear, that will help you, if that makes sense. And there's so many details, and to have that support system, because now is the time. Now is the time. And I was laughing, actually yesterday, and I've said this repeatedly. It does feel like there's a huge shift, because with the other side, I'm like, how are you guys not even, it's just like an open book test from the divine. Like, this is so obvious what's happening in our world. And thank God most of us are on the same page. I've seen an uptick in TikTok of more conservative, hysterical podcasters. Their channels are getting bigger because they're not afraid anymore. And so now's the time. I mean, I don't know if you guys agree, but I feel like now out of every time, it's the strike while the iron's hot.
It is, holy smokes, it's the time. And that's why, Victoria's been bringing her knowledge in to really, because we're getting a lot of people saying, okay, it's time. We watched you a year ago, or we watch you now. It's time for us to look at this. How do we do this? And so really doing it right again, make sure you're ready for the luck, because the luck's, everything's in our favor, right? Everything's in our favor. What do you call it? The star, whatever your faith is, your belief
stars
system,
aligned.
stars aligning, whatever, right? So it's everything's right there for us to succeed at a big way right now. And then our courage is there. And now you have massive support systems. And, with what you've been able to, bring, with your media experience, and, what we've been working through from the grassroots experience there. I mean, you guys got one hell of a shot. So if you're ever going to give this a go, for real, if you're ever going to give it a go and want to learn more about it, just text Bryce Media and let's talk through it, and we can figure out what your vision is, and see if we fit into your plans, and vice versa.
Absolutely. It's the Ram Dass quote, we're all just walking each other home. You guys, and so I will be putting Jay's number down in the description box below. You guys know that besides my mother's phone number, Jay's number is the only number I know besides my mother's by heart. So, and you just text in Bryce Media, and you're actually texting Jay and Victoria. And Victoria, this is a question I just to kind of give people an idea, because this is the biggest question I get from people whenever I work with people. So the first question they get is how to handle like your trolls or your haters. And I always say, like, it's going to happen. Like, you're going to get people that are going to be just assholes. That's just human nature. But will you also help people with stuff like that, the psychological like aspects of putting themselves on camera, and the best exercises to do to help people deal with that, like the spotlight on them?
Absolutely. Yeah. And it's actually not as difficult as it sounds.
Yeah. If I can do it, listen, and I know you guys, the first time you put yourself up on YouTube, you're like terrified. But after a while, when I see like mean comments, I usually giggle at them like when I see them in my comment section, because it's just going to help the algorithm.
And if they're watching you, listen, that's what do they say? Any press is good press.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, try that theory on. But I love it's it'll, and the cool thing about that is when you do experience the trolls, and which is inevitable to happen, you're just gonna your level of courageousness goes to another. I mean, how it is. I mean, you just get pretty ballsy after a while, and you're good. You know what to do. You're confident. Your level of confidence is there. It's a great feeling. It really is. Yeah,
and that's psychological of being all eyes on you. That I promise you, with Victoria helping you, I can always be. It's over time, but you just get used to it. You get used to it, and it becomes no big deal. And so don't let stuff because I feel like that's the biggest thing that stops people is their fear of being in the spotlight and their fear of trolls. Listen, go and look at all the big YouTubers. They all have them. If you got trolls, congratulations. That means you made it. Yeah. I mean, look at Trump. Look how trolled he gets.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's a good.
His trolls are huge.
I know, right?
Controversy equals cash. Controversy equals cash. I really do. I hope people do take us up on to chat with us, and it's completely just a conversation at this point. You know what I mean? And we'll see if it all makes sense. We'll put you through our program.
Absolutely. Legacy media is dead, and now is the time to take your seat at the table.
That's right. That's right.
So we are the news now.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, and let me reiterate, guys, this is the beautiful thing. So you watching, if you're sitting there thinking, oh, I don't have a degree in journalism, or I've never done this before.
Doesn't matter.
Welcome to half the people on YouTube.
Who has? I mean, who does, right? And it's like, crazy.
Yeah. I'm a yoga teacher outside of this. So like that, and that's why that is why people trust you, because you're not compromised by, and unfortunately you're right, Victoria, there was a point in our history where there was real journalism, but that doesn't exist anymore.
There was, yeah. And I know people who used to be professional journalists, and they've all quit their job. They've all retired. They basically were forced retired because it's a job that doesn't even exist anymore.
Yeah. So therefore you get to take that job. You get to take that job and be the next.
And there's some kids now that are interested in it. It's like there's kind of an uptick now in college of kids that want to take journalism again. And
it used to be a respectable career.
So very much so.
It really is.
You got to write and travel and meet new cultures and tell the truth about what's happening on the ground. And it's dead, but I think it's coming back because everybody has the ability to be a journalist now. All you need is your cell phone.
Yeah. And just to be an objective observer.
And
be an objective observer. That's a good way of putting it.
Exactly.
And that's how I think
that's the key, is being an objective. I call it being a neutral objective observer. Neutral observer. If you can stay in neutrality and just get the information, that's what makes journalism great, was that it was just just the facts, ma'am.
Yeah.
Just the facts. And you get emotion and judgment out of it. And what happened in television is that it became emotional. The facts were no longer there. In the morning, all they do is read there. So a lot of people understand that news media, they actually get their scripts in the middle of the night, and it's all uploaded on their teleprompters, and they just read the teleprompters. And I started calling it tabloid TV about 5 years ago, because
I love that. Instead of that's exactly what. And how funny is that? We calling it tabloid TV. All the news, like the magazines that we used to call the tabloids, are actually the ones that are the most honest now. And I've even laughed before that when I was growing up, the meteorologist was known as the news anchor who lied. Now the meteorologist is the most honest. He's the one that's the most honest.
Crazy.
It's crazy.
Everything's turning in our favor now. Yeah.
It's all turning in your favor. And I think too, and I think about, and I know I have to be careful, and we know censorship is lightening up, but to be a little careful. But some of the events that have happened, especially the events that are spoken about in Kash Patel's hearing involving January of 2021, that's all I'll say. The only reason why we know that what the news reported isn't true is because of independent people on the ground that were filming, and that it was overwhelming to show that we were being lied to about what actually happened that day. You guys know what I'm talking about. And please be careful in the comment section, because we know they're still kind of watching, but that's why they try to shut us up, because too many people were showing the truth of what was going on. And that is when, and all of these last 4 years have been brutal. I think that's really when the tide started to turn, to put us in the position where we are in now, to know that we the people have the power. And so even if you're a housewife in the middle of Iowa and you didn't even go to college, who cares? You are more honest in your observations of the world around you. And the fact that at this point, people always ask me, how do you research? How do you research? How do you research when I do my deep dives? Well, I like to research because I'm petty. And so I'll go through lawsuits, and I'll go through, it just takes time, but anybody can do it. There's no separate search engine that I have access to that other people don't, right? And someone like Victoria, depending on what you want to do, is going to help you refine that, and give you that power. Now is the time for us to take that autonomy back. And, our government, the United States government, was meant to be run by the people. And thank God we have an administration in that saying, you know what, we're going to ask the establishment to leave, and we're going to bring in the housewives in Iowa, and the factory workers in Oregon, and the 20-something-year-old kid who's still in college, and the 80-year-old man who's in retirement. We're going to bring those, because those are the people that their voices matter. And speaking of haters, this is kind of funny. You guys know the show The View?
Yeah, right.
Mm-hmm. And when I was a kid, it was like respectable because Barbara Walters, but now it's turned into a shit show basically. Yeah. And we were, their ratings have plummeted, and we were at lunch yesterday, and my mom was like, I just don't understand how they can still run. And I go, it's because of all the haters that watch it and then do commentary on it, that so literally if hate watching is keeping The View,
That's what I'm telling you.
I wondered why they were still around because that show is awful.
Controversy equals cash. It doesn't matter. It's all numbers, right? It's all who gets there and what it
I
is.
swear, it's just all the people that watch it are just YouTubers and TikTokers who are then watching it and filming it and then ripping it apart.
Yeah, yeah.
It's entertaining. It's very entertaining. So, well, Victoria, this is so exciting. And Jay, thanks for bringing this to my people.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
hope
yeah.
you guys we've had so many awesome people come through already. But again, this is your mantra. This is the time. Your voice matters. Your voice matters. Your opinions matter. And the American people would much rather hear from you than a talking head.
That's what I'm talking about.
Absolutely.
So let's go. And we'll show you how to make money doing this, by the way. Right?
Absolutely. Prosperity is for everyone.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having us in your world as always, Bryce.
Absolutely. I'm so excited, you guys. Keep me posted. All right, you guys. So again, Jay's number is down in the description box below, guys. You just text in BRICEMEDIA. And also all the links to Gnostic TV are down in the description box as well. So, all right, you guys. Well, happy February, and we'll talk to everybody soon.
Yeah. Enjoy your
hangover. Bye, everybody.
Let me show